Welcome back to the deep dive. Okay, you've given us quite the stack of sources this time, detailing what looks like the absolute implosion of several major families.
Yeah, it's pretty intense.
So we're ready to give you that ultimate shortcut, to get you fully informed about all the chaos that's unfolding.
Mm-hmm.
Today, we are definitely strapping in. We're looking at 2 weeks of existential drama, the kind that really only happens when a super controversial political pardon crashes head-on with a very high-stakes paternity test.
And that collision is exactly why we need this deep dive. We're focusing on this really intense, overlapping crisis around Luna Nozawa's unexpected return.
Unexpected and, I think we can safely say, overwhelmingly unwanted return to L.A.
Exactly. So our sources, they're detailed weekly spoilers. They cover the immediate fallout, so that's October 8th through the 10th, and then the inevitable longer-term consequences, which is the week of October 13th through the 17th.
Right. And our mission, as always, is to meticulously untangle this. I mean, it's a massive web, isn't it? Secrets, family fury, romantic jeopardy.
Yeah.
It's threatening to just shatter every single bond on the canvas right now.
It really is.
And the fundamental conflict, it boils down to one person.
Yeah.
Luna. She's the pariah currently, viewed by almost everyone, I mean, especially the Forrester and Finnegan families, as not just, a criminal who belongs in jail,
Right.
but as an active, returning threat.
And that threat level, it gets amplified because of one really crucial point. Bill Spencer.
Yes. Yeah.
Thanks to his, let's be honest, controversial and pretty terrible decision to get her that pardon, she's not locked up.
No.
She's actually living, bizarrely enough, at his mansion.
Which is just fuel on the fire for everyone else.
Absolutely. That fact alone, Luna, free, protected by a powerful Spencer that's the single biggest source of conflict, public and private, that's driving basically every single move we're about to break down.
Okay, let's dive right in then, because the tension, it doesn't really build here, does it?
Yeah.
It feels like it starts at maximum volume right off the bat.
Oh, definitely.
So we have to start with the immediate crisis. Those first few days, October 8th through 10th, this is really where the emotional, the legal damage is all being assessed by the victims.
Right. And we kick things off with a really, really tense family meeting. It's not happening at someone's home. It's strategically located at Taylor Hayes' office.
Oh.
At the hospital.
Okay.
You've got 3 key players there, Light Finnegan, Ridge Forrester, and Taylor herself. And Lee, interestingly, is described as, well, broken. She's full of regrets.
So Lee's basically facing the music now. Our sources are explicit. They say she realizes the horrific error she made.
Mm-hmm.
That she never should have tried to help Luna, back then, and certainly never should have given her any kind of chance at redemption outside the actual legal system.
She thought she could handle it quietly, maybe.
Exactly. She thought she could manage the crisis behind the scenes, but she just completely misjudged how serious Luna's actions were and the depth of the threat that followed.
Yeah, her internal conflict, you can see it, the guilt, the mother figure trying to intervene, but it's just completely steamrolled by Ridge's fury.
Oh, Ridge is furious.
He's not just angry. The sources say he's ranting. He calls her lunatic Luna, insists she should be in jail right now. And he uses this moment to shift the blame, not just onto Lee.
No, he's aiming higher.
He's pointing the finger squarely at the person who escalated the whole crisis, Bill Spencer.
Right. Ridge, who's always thinking strategically about blame, isn't he? He gets the difference between a secret mistake Lee made and this very public act of, governmental interference by Bill.
Right.
Lee's thing was secret, a sort of misguided attempt at private rehab.
Yeah, kept under wraps.
But Bill's pardon, that was public. It was a legal maneuver that completely bypassed the justice system and guaranteed Luna would be free. It took a terrible mistake and, as the source says, just kept the ball rolling.
That's a good way to put it. If Lynn hadn't acted, maybe Luna gets caught, eventually prosecuted. Who knows?
Maybe.
But if Bill hadn't acted, Luna would be in jail right now, regardless of whatever Lynn did or didn't do.
Right.
So Ridge sees Bill's pardon as this, abuse of power. It basically nullified the justice system and, maybe more importantly for Ridge, it invalidated the fear his family feels.
He's livid because Bill created the current situation, this intolerable status quo. Luna's at the Spencer mansion. She's visible, a tangible threat, not behind bars where Ridge firmly believes she belongs.
Exactly.
And speaking of that Spencer mansion, Bill himself is immediately having issues with his newly pardoned, very high-maintenance house guest.
Oh, yeah. Trouble starts right away.
We shift scenes from the hospital office to Bill's place, and Bill is furious. Why? because Luna has already violated his specific, probably very strict instructions for her confinement.
Bill tried to set up, some kind of house arrest situation. She was told explicitly, do not leave the property.
And what does she do?
Luna, showing absolutely zero caution, just waltzes right out the door.
Oh, my goodness.
So when Bill confronts her, with his usual brand of fury,
Yeah.
she gives the excuse that she absolutely had to see somebody.
Somebody. Okay,
So
vague. And who does this somebody turn out to be?
none other than Finn Finnegan, her biological father.
Wow. Okay, so that's a huge security breach right there. A breach of Bill's trust, too.
Massive. But the conflict just keeps spiraling, because then Finn himself shows up at the mansion.
Oh, does he? Is he there to thank Bill?
Not a chance. He's there to basically rip into Bill. He confronts him about moving Luna back into his house in the first place.
Oh, okay. Adding another layer.
Exactly. He's saying Bill's putting the community and potentially Steffi, who Finn's desperately trying to protect, back at risk.
So it's the classic no good deed goes unpunished. Except the deed itself was maybe not so good to begin with.
Pretty much. You've got Finn confronting Bill about the whole custody and protection angle, while Bill's still reeling from Luna breaching the immediate security issue.
And Luna's little stunt, sneaking out to see Finn, it just immediately proves everyone's fears right, doesn't it?
It completely validates the town's consensus, which, according to the spoilers, is crystal clear. Luna is seen as a genuine danger. She absolutely cannot just be allowed to roam free.
So what's the solution then? What are people saying?
Well, at the very minimum, she needs formal electronic monitoring, or strict verified house arrest, if not actual incarceration.
Right.
And Bill, who's now kind of become the secondary pariah right after Luna,
Good point.
he's realizing his attempt at this, compassionate private protection thing, it's failed spectacularly.
Yeah, it's made him look completely negligent, hasn't it? He acted alone to free her, thinking he could control her.
Right, assuming he had it handled.
And within days, she proves him totally wrong.
Yeah.
Which just reinforces everyone else's view that she's manipulative and, frankly, uncontrollable.
So now we're seeing Bill having to really lock Luna down after this incident.
Meaning what? Like more guards?
Mm-hmm.
Actual locks?
Probably increased security, maybe physical barriers. It basically cements her status as this kind of quasi-prisoner in his own home.
Which, ironically, probably just further fuels the rage of the Forresters and Finnegans, who see this whole thing as a mockery of justice anyway.
Absolutely. It's an impossible situation Bill created for himself. He basically traded his reputation, maybe even his family's peace, for some kind of moral stance that just blew up in his face immediately.
Okay, let's shift gears for a moment, because while all these family feuds are just burning white hot, Deke Sharp is operating over here in the shadows, and he's juggling some secrets that could absolutely destroy his career climbs and, honestly, hope Logan's emotional stability too.
Oh, Deke. Yeah, he's basically walking this incredibly fine tightrope. He's holding on to two massive, time bombs, both related to Hope.
Right.
And the pressure on him must be immense, especially now that Hope's getting more curious about his personal life, seeing as he's stepping into a bigger role at Forrester Creations.
Okay, let's break down these time bombs. Time bomb number one.
Deke is dating Remy Price.
Remy Price.
Okay.
And our sources really emphasize this. Remy explicitly asked Deke not to say his name anywhere near Forrester Creations.
Wow. Okay, that's not just a red flag. That's like a giant flashing neon sign, isn't it? It means Remy's reputation is basically poison to the fashion house.
And we know exactly why. We need to give the context here for you listening to this deep dive. Remy Price is infamous. He's the guy behind the dirty Photoshop incident involving Elektra.
Right. That wasn't just some minor mistake. That was huge. It was catastrophic, a campaign of deception that nearly brought Forrester Creations down. It led to a massive legal fight. It completely tarnished the company's image, and it caused, immense emotional distress, especially to the Forrester family.
So if Deke reveals he's dating the man responsible for that level of corporate sabotage, Hope's reaction is going to be, well, the source is absolutely horrified.
Horrified is probably putting it mildly. Remember, Hope sees Deke as this professional confidant, a creative partner, someone who shares her values.
Yeah.
Dating a known saboteur, that's professional suicide for Deke, and probably personal annihilation, too, in her eyes.
Okay, so that's bad enough. But then there's secret number two.
Right. Deke is also keeping the secret that Hope currently has no idea Luna Nozawa is alive and free.
Wait, Hope doesn't know. Still.
Still doesn't know. So Deke is trying to navigate Hope's professional life, her growing curiosity about his dating life, and the fact that this major figure who threatened Luna, the person everyone's raging about, is walking free right there in Los Angeles.
Okay, hang on. This gets really interesting now. I get why dating Remy is, horrific professionally. But why wouldn't Deke just tell Hope about Luna? He's close enough to the Forresters. He knows the threat level. Why keep that secret from Hope specifically?
Because the entire Forrester family basically is operating in this strategic isolation mode. They're desperately trying to protect Steffi.
Steffi.
Right. If Deke tells Hope that Luna is alive, he breaks the trust of that entire protective circle, particularly the Finnegans and the Forresters who are trying to keep Steffi shielded.
So he's caught. Completely caught.
Between the devil and the deep blue sea, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Expose the Luna secret, and he becomes a pariah to the Forresters. Keep the Remy secret, and risk Hope's eventual, inevitable, explosive discovery about his boyfriend.
Wow. The fallout when those two secrets eventually collide, because you know they will.
Oh, it's going to be massive.
Hope's ability to trust Deke professionally, regardless of how talented he is, it'll just be destroyed. Because he prioritized his love life, maybe his career ambitions, over protecting her from a known threat to her family.
Exactly. It's a betrayal on multiple levels.
Which actually brings us nicely to the professional shifts happening right now at Hope for the Future. Because we do have to address the elephant in the room here, Thomas Forrester's departure.
Yeah, the sudden exit. Our sources specifically note that this plot point was just dropped on the audience with zero explanation. Matt Atkinson's gone, and everyone watching is just left hanging. It creates this huge, unexplained creative hole right at the heart of Hope for the Future.
And that leaves Hope in a pretty significant bind, doesn't it? She tells Deke apparently that she just cannot work with Thomas anymore. Their complicated history.
Understatement of the year.
Right. Even though she acknowledges his talent, calls him a really talented designer, that history, the years of manipulation, the lies, the obsession, it's just a psychological barrier she can't cross anymore, especially with all the current family drama swirling around.
But the timing, while terrible for Hope maybe, is this huge professional opportunity for Deke.
Right, well, he's internally freaking out about his secrets.
Professionally, he's making moves. He presents these groundbreaking ideas for Hope for the Future, and apparently the sheer quality of these ideas, it just floors Hope. She has to acknowledge his genius.
How impressed is she?
Immensely. So much so that she actually compares Deke's level of inspiration to the level she felt when she was working with Thomas.
Wow. Coming from Hope. Yeah. That design, that comparison. That's the highest possible professional praise she could give him, isn't it?
Absolutely. It confirms Deke's talent isn't just, good enough. It's potentially revolutionary for her line.
So this basically signals a major job offer is coming, right? Maybe assistant designer or even co-lead, given Thomas is gone.
Seems imminent, yeah. Hope desperately needs a creative partner who isn't tangled up in all her complicated romantic baggage. And Deke, on the surface, fits that bill perfectly, even while his personal life is built on this, catastrophic lie.
It's that classic soap opera trade-off, isn't it? Success in one area is often perfectly balanced by, imminent disaster in another.
Absolutely. Deke's about to climb the corporate ladder based on sheer talent, right before his hidden dating life and his secret knowledge about Luna blow up in his face. It threatens to make his shiny new creative role completely untenable.
The irony is just thick. And the fall, when it comes, is going to be devastating for him. This professional win is definitely built on shaky ground.
Built on sand, yeah.
Okay, moving on. Let's get to what is arguably the highest stakes storyline of these whole 2 weeks, the paternity countdown. And this is focusing squarely on Will Spencer and Electra Forrester. This feels like the legal, the emotional, the biological core of the whole crisis right now.
It absolutely is. And Will Spencer, he's laser focused. His entire motivation right now is making sure that Luna, this returning menace, doesn't succeed in using this pregnancy to permanently wedge herself between him and Electra.
And Electra, meanwhile, she's showing, according to the sources, really remarkable capacity for forgiveness. But it's nuanced, right? This is an important distinction we need to make clear.
Very important, yes. She is not forgiving Will for the sexual assault he endured. The sources are very clear. Will was absolutely the victim in that situation. He suffered panic attacks, debilitating PTSD. He was getting those creepy anonymous texts that triggered extreme fear.
Right, that's the foundation of his trauma.
Exactly. Her forgiveness is about a separate issue. It's about Will taking her virginity without coming clean, as the source puts it,
Yeah.
about the huge psychological turmoil he was experiencing at the time.
So it was a breach of intimacy, a breach of trust.
Yeah, an act she saw as him withholding critical information during what was, for both of them, a moment of profound vulnerability.
Okay, I understand that distinction. But does the source material give any hint that maybe Elektra is being a bit too easy on Will here? I mean, given his trauma, is she really holding him accountable for the lack of honesty? Or is she maybe, using his victimhood as a way to justify forgiving him quickly so they can solidify their relationship before this paternity test potentially blows everything apart?
That's a really interesting point, that friction. And the sources do kind of highlight that ambiguity. Electra seems to be trying to draw a very specific line. I forgive the lack of honesty because I understand your trauma, but the lack of honesty itself was the specific problem for me.
Okay.
But for Will, who's still dealing with all the residual panic and emotional fallout from being assaulted, the need for control, for absolute honesty in his current relationship must be paramount. He's living under this cloud of victimhood, plus the public pregnancy crisis, plus the imminent DNA test result.
It's just immense pressure, compounding pressure. The emotional clock is ticking down fast. The sources say the couple expects answers about Luna and the baby very soon. So that agonizing waiting game is almost over.
Which leads us right into the planning phase. They're actually planning for the long-term challenge. Electra isn't just sitting there waiting passively. She and her aunt, Ivy Forrester, are apparently discussing actual strategies, like how can Electra move forward? How can she handle the unavoidable fallout if Will is confirmed as the father?
And this is where the implications get, frankly, terrifyingly long-term. This moves way beyond just relationship drama into, permanent family structure changes.
Right.
Our sources heavily suggest that Will is most likely the daddy per the DNA test.
Right.
If that result holds,
Yeah.
this isn't short-term crisis anymore. This is an 18-year challenge.
Exactly. Think about that. An 18-year entanglement with Luna Nozawa. That means co-parenting meetings, shared holidays, financial ties, permanent structural integration into both the Spencer and the Forrester families.
All centered around a woman they view as a dangerous, unstable threat.
It moves from being a containable problem to a permanent institutional one.
18 years of guaranteed conflict. That's a massive commitment to drama. Now, okay, we have to mention the potential escape hatch, right? The twist potential.
Yes, the saving grace, maybe. Our sources mention serious rumors that Luna might have cooked up some kind of deliberate twist regarding the paternity.
Okay, cooked up implies manipulation.
It does. This is the essential hope, really, for the Forrester-Spencer side, that there's an out. But if Luna did engineer a twist, you have to ask why.
Right. What's her motive?
Is she doing it to maybe secure a better financial future for the child, pinning it on someone else? Is she trying to get leverage over a richer family member, maybe Bill, if the real father is someone she thinks Bill would want to protect? Or is it just pure manipulation, designed to secure her own place back in society, truth be damned?
So many possibilities. But regardless, that rumored twist is really the only potential escape route that saves Will and Elektra from being locked into this 18-year co-parenting nightmare with Luna.
Pretty much. And just before that inevitable explosion happens on Friday, October 10th, the couple does get one small, much-needed moment of peace.
Ah, okay. A breather.
Exactly. The sources highlight a sweet, loving moment between Elektra and Will, a brief pocket of calm, and the source even says they should really enjoy that vibe. Because immediately after, the quote is, the poop hits the fan post-test.
Nice. Eloquent.
It's the necessary quiet before the absolute hurricane hits.
And what a hurricane it promises to be.
Yeah.
Let's dive right into that paternity test showdown. This is the climax of Friday, October 10th. And it seems like the defining mood here is paranoia and control.
It all kicks off with Katie Logan taking charge, preemptive control. She shows up at Bill's mansion, but she's not just dropping by for coffee. She is operating with a very explicit agenda of distrust.
Okay.
And she's not alone. She's accompanied by her niece, Dr. Bridget Forrester. And Bridget has been brought there specifically to perform the paternity test.
Bring in a medical professional, but not just any professional, family, but still.
Yeah. Right. And Katie makes the reason crystal clear. She tells Luna straight up that she brought Bridget to ensure Luna cannot pull any, and this is another quote, Nozawa naughty tricks.
Wow. Naughty tricks. Okay, Katie's not messing around.
Not at all. She's there to make sure Luna can't interfere with the process or tamper with the results themselves.
So this is basically a formal declaration of distrust.
Yeah.
Aimed right at Luna, obviously, but implicitly it's kind of aimed at Bill too, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Katie's basically saying, Bill, We don't trust your judgment in this situation, and Luna, we definitely don't trust your character. Therefore, we are bringing in our trusted personnel to guarantee this medical process is completely above board.
And poor Bridget is caught right in the middle.
Yeah.
A neutral professional forced into this incredibly volatile family drama.
Exactly. And Luna's reaction to Bridget arriving, she's visibly nervous.
Okay, nervous. Why? Our sources give a few possibilities, right? We need to unpack those because they really shape how we, the audience, feel the tension.
Right. Possibility number one. It's just genuine medical concern. Protective maternal instinct. Is she worried about a physical risk to the baby?
Depending on the test type.
Yeah, depending on the test, especially with all the drama surrounding it, there could be a perceived risk, maybe even a real risk, of miscarriage. That's a totally understandable human reason for her to be anxious.
Okay, plausible. Possibility number 2.
This one feels maybe more likely for dramatic effect. Luna's worried because she is actually scheming. Maybe the baby isn't Will's, and she's terrified the truth is about to come out right there under Bridget's very careful professional eye.
And if Will is ruled out, then who's the father? Someone else tangled in the family web, or maybe a total unknown, which would just throw a whole new wrench in the works.
Exactly. Huge implications either way. And then there's possibility number 3. Paranoia.
Luna's paranoia.
Yeah. Maybe Luna worries that Bridget, even though she's there for integrity, might actually alter the results to favor the Spencer Forrester side.
Oh, interesting.
Luna might suspect that because Bridget is a Forrester by marriage and a Logan by birth, she has a vested interest in keeping this baby. And therefore Luna, out of permanent connection to the family, thereby protecting Will and Electra.
So Luna might fear being framed, essentially.
Could be. So is she nervous because she cares about the baby, because she's lying, or because she fears they'll lie?
Regardless of which anxiety is driving her, the scene is set for the big reveal. The whole group is gathered. Bill's fancy living room. Electra, Will, Luna, Bill, Katie. The air must be absolutely electric.
Thick enough to cut with a knife, I imagine. And the focus, understandably, is all on Will. The sources describe him as desperate, just begging Bridget, just tell me what the results are.
He needs to know. Good or bad, he just needs the certainty to move forward, right?
Yeah.
To deal with the trauma and the waiting. For him, this result defines the next, 2 decades of his life?
It's absolutely defining. Which brings us to that classic soap opera structural question posed directly by our sources. Are the writers actually going to give us the DNA results on that cliffhanger Friday?
Leaving everyone hanging over the weekend.
Right. Or will they drag it out, push the reveal to Monday, October 13th, just to maximize that agonizing anticipation?
What do you think? Given the amount of fallout planned for the next week that we know about.
My gut feeling, I think the reveal comes in the very, very last second of the Friday episode. Like, Bridget says the words "will is" or "will is not," and then bam, credits.
Setting up 5 straight days of intense consequences.
Exactly, because that fallout is substantial. And that's where we need to turn our attention now. Part 5, the week of October 13th through 17th. The aftermath and the escalating future threats.
Okay, so now the primary concern shifts. It's less about who the father is, maybe, and more about the devastating impact of Luna just being free, especially in those who've been deliberately kept in the dark.
And the central figure being protected, or rather intentionally isolated, is Steffi Forrester.
Right.
Brooke and Taylor, in what sounds like a rare moment of total agreement.
That is rare.
They conclude Steffi absolutely should not be told Luna is alive and free, not until they can somehow guarantee Luna is back behind bars.
But the paternity results, assuming they confirm, Will is the father that completely torpedoes the isolation strategy, doesn't it?
Destroys it. Luna is now cemented into the family structure via this child. It makes hiding her existence impossible long term.
And Steffi's due back soon.
Returning soon, yeah. And the expectation is universal. She's going to freak out. She'll believe the nightmare, the threat to her stability has returned.
And this fear, it must be amplified like tenfold for Finn. Our sources detail his extreme anguish.
He's consumed by it, consumed by the worry that his awful family, meaning his biological ties, Luna, Sheila, is once again a direct threat to Steffi's safety, her sanity.
He's terrified she'll leave.
He feels that if Steffi finds out Luna is alive and potentially connected to the family through this baby with Will, she'll be so terrified she'll just stay away. That Finn will lose both her and Hayes forever.
That threat of losing his family, that's Finn's absolute core motivation right now. It's primal.
Totally. And if Will is confirmed as the father, the family's reaction sounds like it's going to be one of just absolute, almost institutional denial.
What do you mean?
They'll descend into desperation mode. The sources suggest they might actually demand Bridget rerun the test and rerun it and keep rerunning it until they somehow get a different result.
Wow. That's not rational.
Not at all. It's a complete breakdown of logic. It's rooted entirely in their fear of that 18-year complication, that permanent link to Luna. They want medical validation for the result they want, not the scientific truth.
Meanwhile, Ridge, he's still obsessively focused on the root cause of this whole mess in his eyes. Bill Spencer.
Still ranting, continuously ranting about Bill's bad decision-making. He argues Bill's pardon, his release of Luna, put Ridge's entire family back in danger. It restarted the nightmare that they thought, maybe briefly, was over.
Ridge sees Bill as committing the ultimate betrayal against the whole Forrester-Finnegan collective, doesn't he?
Absolutely. And it's not just venting anymore. It's becoming a strategic alliance. Taylor, Brooke, Ridge, and Finn actually convene, specifically to discuss strategy. How is Luna's return going to impact Steffi? Her psychological safety, her physical presence back in LA?
What kind of tactical solutions could they even be discussing beyond just, trying to hide Luna, which seems impossible now?
Well, they're likely exploring every possible legal angle. Can they challenge the pardon itself? Argue Bill somehow misled the authorities?
Maybe. Seems like a long shot.
Probably. Can they hire private security to just permanently monitor Luna? They might even be discussing immediate permanent relocation plans for Steffi and Hayes, even if that means disrupting Finn's medical practice.
Anything to create distance.
They're looking for a complete firewall, something to totally separate their core family unit from this Spencer-Nozawa entanglement that Bill created.
And the drama, it just keeps spreading, doesn't it? It's infecting other relationships now, ones that seem maybe marginally more stable.
Yeah.
We're seeing marriages spiral, unexpected stress bonds forming.
Yeah, let's look at Deacon and Sheila for a second. Sheila Carter is apparently trying to reason with Deacon Sharp, trying to salvage their precarious relationship.
Good luck with that.
Right. However, if the paternity test does confirm Will is the father, Sheila might get overly excited.
Why?
The prospect of having a great-grandchild. And not just any great-grandchild, one that's related to the powerful Spencer family line. It gives her an indirect connection back to Bill, to power.
Oh, God. And that potential excitement from Sheila, her possibly trying to leverage a baby for her own gain.
Yeah.
That's the exact kind of horror that would just make Deacon recoil, right?
Yeah.
More withdrawn, disgusted, desperate to get out of that marriage.
Precisely. His spiraling marriage seems confirmed by the fact that the sources anticipate more intimate scenes between Taylor and Deacon. It suggests Deacon is seeking comfort, maybe stability, outside of his chaotic home life.
Okay. And on a different family front, like in Finn,
they might share a moment, yeah. A brief stress-bonding moment, united by this collective fear around Luna and Steffi.
there's always a but.
That bond is inherently flawed, isn't it? Finn will quickly swing back to being intensely unhappy that his own mother, Lai, kept the crucial secret about Luna being alive from him in the first place. An act that compromised his entire life, his marriage.
So even these moments of connection are built on, really recent deception. It's all so fragile.
Very fragile. And let's not forget Deke Sharp in all this fallout. We talked about his two huge secrets. Well, the sources say the entire landscape is set to explode once the identity of his boyfriend, Remy Price, the corporate saboteur, is finally revealed.
Revealed to Hope, and presumably the wider Forrester community.
Right. The professional career Dick just built this week, all that praise he got from Hope, the trust he seemed to be earning, it's all going to come crashing down. The irony of him getting ahead with these groundbreaking ideas while secretly dating a known corporate destroyer, it's just too juicy for the writers to pass up.
So that reveal feels like it's positioned as the final, maybe internal explosion that kind of caps off this whole 2-week run of external family chaos.
Seems likely. It rounds out the devastation.
Okay, let's try and bring this deep dive in for a final landing, a final analysis. We have covered 2 weeks of incredibly intense, high-stakes drama, moving from, a legal outrage with the pardon straight into a biological threat with the paternity test. The critical takeaways for you listening at home seem pretty clear.
Yeah, first, the pressure on Will and Electra is just extreme and potentially life-altering, driven by that probable 18-year entanglement confirmed by the DNA test. Will's trauma, which the show is acknowledging, it just intensifies his need for certainty and control, something these results will either give him or just violently rip away.
Second, that whole isolation strategy trying to keep Luna's status secret from Steffi is proving completely impossible, isn't it? Bill's pardon cemented Luna's physical presence, her legal freedom, and now potentially her biological connection to the family in L.A. Conflict upon Steffi's return feels absolutely guaranteed now.
And third, the domino effect is just widespread and unforgiving. It's hitting marriages, Deacon and Sheila. It's hitting professional futures, Deke. It's hitting family alliances, Ridge, Finn, Lai, Brooke, Taylor, everyone. From Ridge, who's strategizing in his rage, to Finn, who's terrified and defensive, is suffering the consequences because one person was released from jail.
It really is a staggering amount of chaos packed into just a couple of weeks of fictional time.
Yeah.
It's intense. But, speaking of the star at the center of some of that professional chaos, Annika Noel, who plays Hope Logan.
Yeah.
She actually recently celebrated a really lovely personal moment. She married John Patrick Amadori.
Yeah.
It's just a wonderful contrast, isn't it?
Totally.
To see the real-life joy of the actors happen amidst all the fictional turmoil they portray so well. So congratulations to her.
That's lovely news. And just to leave you with a final provocative thought, something to mull over that builds on all this material. If Finn is really so terrified that Steffi will find out Luna is alive and that she'll subsequently leave him and take Hayes forever, what extreme measures might he be driven to take? Measures beyond just, hiding Luna's status or demanding endless reruns of the paternity test.
Like what?
Could he take steps that are maybe morally compromised? Will he try to influence custody arrangements somehow? Forcefully relocate the family? Or maybe even take, aggressive, proactive measures against Luna herself, the perceived threat, just to guarantee his family's peace? How far would he go?
That is definitely something to think about as we wait for that Friday cliffhanger and beyond. Thank you for joining us for this deep dive into the world of paternity pardons and the ultimate return of possibly the most disruptive force on the canvas right now.
Thanks for tuning in.
We'll see you next time.